Morning peeps, good morning everyone, how's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. I've had a change of heart, people, a big change of heart. I think for the last couple of months I've said that Canelo isn't ducking Benavidez and that Canelo will fight anyone and the record books say he will fight anyone. I don't know, I'm starting to think that Canelo, for whatever reason, and I guess the biggest reason is scared of losing, but for whatever reason, Canelo is ducking Benavidez. Canelo has always said that it isn't just a case of he picks you to fight. It's a case of you do what work you need to do, which is fight the next guy up. So almost like you have your own competition. I am the king and you guys fight amongst each other and then you fight me. And Benavidez has done that, really. I think the Caleb Plant one was solid. Demetrius Andrade win was solid. So he's done what he's been telling those guys to do. Benavidez is the #1 ranked super middleweight, right? Just below Canelo. I think the Benavidez fight does more pay-per-views. And if Canelo does fight Munguia, and there's a lot of talk about Munguia, Canelo did say in the past that he doesn't want to fight Mexicans. I get that. But then fighting Munguia would be just that, So yeah, I've had a bit of a change of heart, and it's a tough one for me to change my mind on Canelo because I'm a huge fan of what Canelo has done in recent years. I mean, Jesus Christ, that man's CV is insane, right? I mean, there isn't any boxer fighting now that has a CV like that, and you have to look at the likes of Manny Pacquiao and Cotto and Floyd for any comparisons of fighters in recent years that have done what Canelo's done. But there is no legitimate reason now as to why he isn't fighting David Benavidez. There isn't. I have seen that Eddie Reynoso says we haven't had an offer. You make the offer. You make the offer. Like, you're the A side. You're the big dog. You're the king of the jungle. You make the offer. And I'm sure Benavidez will accept whatever is put on the table. Like, look, I don't know Benavidez, right? I don't know him from Adam, but I don't know if he's the type of boxer that if he doesn't get a 70-30 split, he's not fighting. I think he knows like what a win would do against Canelo for his resume. And then again, you have a rematch and you hit the lottery. So yeah, I think there's a legitimate reason now, or legitimate thought process to say Canelo is ducking Benavidez, which sounds crazy to think that Canelo would duck anyone, but I think it's happening. The reason I've got to this is because the reason I've started speaking about Canelo, because obviously Edgar Balanga won on the weekend, beat Paddy McCrory, stopped him, and Eddie Hearn has come out, as promoters would do, and says, he's in line, right? He's now the #1 ranked super middleweight. I'm like, Eddie, stop. I get it. You got your promoter hat on, and I think Eddie's one of, if not the best promoter out there, but a win against Paddy McCrory does not make you the #1 ranked super middleweight in line for Canelo. It just doesn't. I am sorry. No way, Jose. There will be many a boxing fan who had no idea who Paddy McCrory was. Stop. Please stop. Like Balanga isn't even the best 168 pounder in Matchroom stable. He isn't. I think Pacheco beats him. Right now. You make that fight right now, I think Pacheco does him. Don't get me wrong, Balanga looked good against McCrory, but again, it goes back to who is Paddy McCrory in terms of like top tier super middleweights. He isn't that. So a bit like what Canelo said, like, fight amongst each other and then, have a shot at me. Benavidez has done that, to an extent. Now it's the turn of Balanga to do that. Fight amongst each other. Balanga versus Munguia. Balanga versus Mbili. Balanga versus David Morrell. Balanga versus Pacheco. There are so many super middleweights out there for Balanga to fight, but Balanga should not be Balanga versus Jamal Charlo, maybe even. Balanga shouldn't be in line for Canelo. He shouldn't. He is 3 or 4 fights away, and I'm being very, very serious. I mean, Paddy McCrory was the type of opponent that Balanga should have been fighting 2 years ago. So no, not at all. Not for me. Andy Cruz won, dominated his opponent, won every single round, a bit of a shutout. I do wonder about the punch power. Don't get me wrong, skills pay the bills, right? But you'd like to think that when he comes up against other guys that have the skill, I don't think there is a guy at lightweight that has as much skill as Andy Cruz. I know some of you will be screaming at me right now saying Shakur Stevenson. Even Shakur would probably say, in terms of just offensive and mainly defensive skills, Andy Cruz might be up there by himself, but I feel like he might lack that. And I don't know if you can get that. I've always asked boxers, like I'm always sort of intrigued by that. Like, is that just born? Can you maybe sit on your punches a bit more? Can you train to have more punch power? I honestly, I don't know. If you guys know, let me know. But Andy Cruz obviously looking very good, and he will be fast tracked. He'll be fast tracked. I think he's probably already a top 10 lightweight. And so it'll be interesting to see what Eddie can do for him. It's all well and good having that talent, but I've always said this: do you have the fights, or are you capable of making the fights for him? And we'll see if Eddie is. Very quickly, before we talk about Ngannou, very quickly on this Canelo thing. Obviously, we've been chatting about what next for Canelo for a couple of weeks now. And what next seems very unlikely to be with PBC. I saw Michael Benson tweet something. I saw, is it Rick Glazer, who seems to be the inside man and knows everything what goes on inside boxing. And he tweeted something a few weeks back and he got a lot of stick and pretty much said that Canelo's time with PBC is done. And I did a video a few days ago talking about the fact that Canelo has this guarantee of 35 million. And if you're PBC, you're going to be hesitant to kind of guarantee him 30, fucking that's a lot of money, guarantee him 35 million. Yes, Canelo is still the biggest name in boxing, but the fact is, he still needs a dance partner like every other fighter out there. Like, Canelo can't fight me and fucking sell 1 million pay-per-view buys. You need a dance partner. And maybe they looked at what Canelo and Eddie Reynoso had as options and thought, that ain't guaranteeing you 35 million. And maybe it was a Jamal Charlo, maybe it was other names brought forward, but they probably looked at it, done the maths and thought, these maths aren't adding up. Like, we make no money here. So it does look like Canelo will jump ship or go back to DAZN and work with them, which obviously means Eddie Hearn. And I guess Eddie will throw him the potential 168 pounders to fight. Like, I don't even know. It's a risky one with Eddie. Risky one with Eddie and DAZN, because if you're Eddie, I mean, again, this 35 million, like, I think the Munguia fight could do good numbers. I think just because it's got that Canelo versus Oscar thing that's happened over the years. Munguia has got a following. Obviously, he hasn't done pay-per-view, but I've done a few Munguia fights and they are sellouts. He does really good numbers. And I think people will think Munguia might have a chance. And I think that might have a chance will lead to people wanting to buy. Because, again, Munguia's fresh, he's young, he's big at the weight, he's unbeaten, he can punch a bit. And there is an intrigue there which might equate to pay-per-view buys. But Balanga, no. Munguia, maybe. So that could be the one. Again, 35 million, in order for everyone to eat, it has to touch 600,000 to 700,000 pay-per-view buys. Canelo versus Munguia might do that. It might do that. So yeah, it looks like Canelo is off PBC books, which is a big blow for PBC, but it's a good thing for DAZN. What it might be, by the way, and I think fighters should do this going forward, all this aligned to a promoter or broadcaster, go where the fights can be made. I think we've seen that recently with Devin Haney, who has gone and fought for Top Rank, has gone and fought for DAZN. Like, literally, he seems to only be fighting or signing one fight deals, and if you don't have what he needs, he will go somewhere else and make that fight happen. I think that's what fighters should do going forward. All right, let's talk Ngannou. Not necessarily Ngannou versus AJ. Let's just talk the man, the myth, the legend that is Francis Ngannou, former UFC heavyweight champion. Obviously takes on AJ March 8th. Not long to go. I do fly out in 5 days for this one. Looking forward to getting away from cold London to get some sun on my back in Saudi Arabia. I was looking at Ngannou the other day. Obviously, there was a PFL versus Bellator event, and Ngannou was there with John Jones and Mike Tyson. And Ngannou kind of walks around like the king of the fucking jungle, doesn't he? Like, he walks around like, you tell this man he isn't winning a fight. Like, every time I've interviewed him, I've always felt quite, not intimidated, but he's very matter of fact, sharp with his answers. There is no doubt in his mind that whatever he's doing, he's going to somehow succeed in it. And even in a loss, like he lost to Tyson Fury, he did. I know there are some people that thought he won, he lost, but he somehow won, you know? But yeah, back to that, he walks around like very, very confident. It must be the fact that you know you can fuck up everyone. That there must be something to that. Like for years, and that's funny because obviously they were standing next to Mike Tyson, and for years that kind of, that saying has been linked to Mike Tyson, really, isn't it? The baddest man on the planet, right? Mike Tyson. That was before MMA. I feel like MMA guys have almost taken that over because I think maybe we feel like the MMA guy will fuck up the boxer. And if you are the heavyweight champion of MMA, then you walk around like you are the baddest man on the planet. Just fact. You walk around like that. So there must be this kind of confidence / arrogance that Ngannou has, knowing that he could kill everyone. Kill everyone. There must be that. Like I've always said that about John Jones before Ngannou came. And now it's Ngannou's title, right? He can destroy everyone. But yeah, look, I don't think I've done a percentage thing for a while. Like, so if I was to give Ngannou a percentage chance of beating AJ prior to the Fury fight, I would have given him 10%. 10% prior to the Fury fight, just because he's a big guy and I've seen him in MMA with smaller gloves and he can hit. He can hit hard and he knocks people out and they don't get up. Not that they get up and there's a fucking 5-second count. No, they don't get up. They stay down for minutes. So prior to the Fury fight, 10%, whatever, 10%. After the Fury fight, 25% chance. So look, still heavily favored towards the former unified heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, but definitely give him a chance. Like, definitely give him a chance. Again, because he has this, I think, ultimately, AJ is a more skillful fighter than Ngannou. But what Ngannou's got between the ears, mate, that level of confidence, and I don't want to go, I did a sit-down interview with him, actually. Hopefully it comes out very soon. But like what this guy has been through, and like boxing and fighting is all about stories of hardship, right? Every fighter that I've spoken to has been through something. Like no one, you know, although you got the Conor Benns and the Chris Eubank Juniors who maybe have come from good stock, good money, right? But majority of people, and even those two, by the way, have been through a lot in their life, but majority of fighters fight because they're fighting to get out of something. But Ngannou's stories, nothing I've ever heard of in my life. It's insane. So again, you try and tell that man that you don't have a chance. Like, I certainly wouldn't say it to his face. Say that now, no chance. So look, it's going to be an exciting one. I can't wait till the bell rings. I do wonder if AJ, there's always been this thing about AJ's weight, right? Like, what's AJ going to weigh? I do wonder if AJ comes in a bit heavier just to try and combat the strength of Ngannou, because there will be times, I think, when they're up close and AJ normally likes to try and push his fighters back, or they sometimes even walk back voluntarily because they're quite intimidated. Obviously, Ngannou ain't doing that. So it'll be interesting to see if AJ comes in around that 18 stone mark. Although I have seen photos of him recently sparring, and he does look quite light and trim. So I'm guessing it might be a case of hit and move, and just tire out Ngannou. But we shall see. Again, good undercard. We'll do videos in the lead up to it. I probably am going to do a lot of videos about this. We'll do another video, or say a video on Jili Zhang Parker. We've got to do that. We've got to do one on, who else on this card? Ray Vargas, Nick Bull. Kevin Lerena, I think, is on this card as well. Kevin Lerena, the South African, really a cruiserweight who's gone up to heavyweight. Remember the guy that caused Dubois a bit of a problem? He's on the card. So we'll look at it. Anyway, all right, where are we? By the way, good win for Junto Nakatani. Won at the weekend. He's unbeaten. What's he now? 27-0, 20 knockouts. I don't think the Asian fighters get the respect from the American public that they should. So not the American fight fans. I think the hardcore American fight fans will always respect boxers regardless of where they come from. But those that kind of dip their toes in and out of boxing, I feel like the Asian fighters are where British fighters were 25 years ago. Even to an extent now, right? I mean, the Brits didn't really get the respect until you go to America and win. Then it's like, oh, okay, cool, this man can fight. You never really got the respect winning in Britain until you went to America. And I almost feel like the Asian fighters are like that now, where, you know, like I see people write about them. It's like, yeah, but they haven't fought in Madison Square Garden. They haven't fought in Vegas. I'm like, why do they need to? Like, there isn't that need to. Like, they get paid so well, they fill out arenas, and you look at something like potentially Inoue versus Nakatani could be bigger than any fight made this year. Like, financially, could be huge. Could be. I don't know how it works in terms of pay-per-view and ticket prices in Asia. I'm not quite sure, but that fight surely is fucking enormous. Like, surely. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see when the Ring magazine update their pound-for-pound rankings, where the likes of Nakatani and others fall. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Eddie Hearn, Sonny Edwards versus Nonshinga is a massive fight. We could make it happen this year. That would mean Sonny Edwards going down in weight. Obviously, Nonshinga, good fighter, got his belt back against Kuriel. Was it last weekend? There seems to be fights getting busier and busier now. So I'm not quite sure if it was last weekend or the weekend before. But yeah, look, good fight as well for Sonny to go straight back in. A world title, it's a weight he's fought at before, so it wouldn't be a problem, I don't think, making it. He's so small, Sonny Edwards, very, very small. So yeah, we'll see. What else have we got? Benavidez Vosdick for the WBC interim light heavyweight title would be a slap in the face. No, it wouldn't. Can we just make that fight happen? Stop talking shit. Reynoso confident Canelo's legacy won't be defined by not fighting Benavidez. Don't know. You know. It's not a case of it. It's not a case of it will damage it, but in terms of Canelo, sort of, obviously with Canelo now, it's an all-time great discussion, isn't it? It's not, you know, he's the greatest fighter of this era, I think, but it's an all-time great discussion, and this will add to it. Like, fighting a Benavidez will add to it. Like, what a win! A win over Benavidez would just fucking hell catapult him into, I don't know, top 20, top 25 discussion. I don't know. Those things are very difficult. And look, it's not just, I mean, there's been other fighters in the past that haven't taken the fights that we wanted. Like, I remember when the time won Margarito Floyd. Like, we were desperate for that. Maybe it wasn't like this, but we were desperate. Paul Williams Floyd. And at the time, Paul Williams, at the time, we were like looking at him like Tommy Hearns because of the size, the reach, the power. So there's times when, you know, all the best have kind of not had the fights we wanted at the time we wanted them. I mean, look how long it took Floyd to fight fucking Manny. How long that took. And when he fought Manny, it wasn't the Manny, was it either? So, yeah, who knows? All right, anything else before we break up? You know, when I say anything else, yeah, there's so much stuff here, by the way. Like, all I do is just read boxing scenes page. There's so many stories, but some are just, you guys won't be interested in, so there's no point talking about them. All right, I think we're done. All right, guys, girls, peace and love.